In addition to the personal credit cards, American Express in the UK has a few cards targeted at small businesses. And while in the past we've barely talked about these here on the channel, I think it's time we did, partly because welcome bonuses on the Business Platinum and Business Gold cards are currently running at the highest levels I've ever seen them. And since last year, Amex has made it insanely easy to qualify for these bonuses, even if you're an existing Amex customer. So in this video today, we're going to take a holistic look at the Amex business cards offering, what they're targeted at, how they're different from the personal credit cards, what you need to be eligible, and most importantly, what cards are there in the lineup and how you pick the right one for you. And of course, we'll cover the welcome bonus promotion that is running at the time I'm recording this video. This is actually running until October 14th, 2025, but if you're watching this video later, make sure to check for whatever promotions are active at the moment, since they come and go fairly often. So if that sounds interesting, then let's get started. And before we dive into specific cards, let's understand how Amex business credit cards are actually different from the personal ones. To be eligible for a business card, you need to be running some sort of business, operating either as a sole trader or a limited company, and your business needs to have a UK bank account. For example, when I applied and got approved for the Business Platinum card last year, my so-to-say business was this YouTube channel, and I was registered as a sole trader and I had a Revolut Pro account to handle funds related to the channel. But that's the thing. Beyond ticking these boxes about having a business and a bank account to go with it, there are no formal requirements for the size of your operation. For example, no minimum turnover requirements or anything like that. Having said that though, Amex does look at your personal circumstances and your personal credit history as part of the application. And depending on the specific card you're looking to apply for, there will be different requirements for your personal income, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So if you do apply and get approved for a business credit card from Amex, there are two important things that you need to understand. First of all, technically, you're expected to only use the card for business expenses. Putting personal spend on a business card is against the terms and conditions. I don't know how often this is actually enforced because a lot of people freely mix their personal and business spend, but I am just letting you know what the terms and conditions have to say about this. On the plus side, if you do use your card exclusively for business purposes, then the annual fee becomes potentially tax deductible. The other thing you need to know is that 3 out of the 6 business credit cards that Amex offers in the UK are not actually credit cards, and instead they are charge cards. And I'm going to explain the implications of this when we get to our first charge card as part of this review. And with that, let's actually see what Amex has to offer within their business card portfolio. I'm going to group the cards depending on what kind of rewards they earn on spending. So we have 2 Amazon cards that earn cashback that you can redeem with Amazon, 1 British Airways card that earns Avios, but interestingly no companion voucher, and 2 membership reward points cards, the Gold and the Platinum, that earn transferable membership reward points and offer various credits and lifestyle benefits. Finally, there is also a so-called basic card that earns, well, nothing, and it practically has no benefits, so we're not really going to focus on it in this video. Okay, so let's start with the Amazon business card. This is essentially a cashback card earning 0.5% back on everything, which is a pretty standard cashback rate for the UK. It does get better on Amazon Spend, where you get 1.5% back on anything you spend on Amazon, Amazon Business, and the Whole Foods Market. Alternatively, instead of the 1.5% back, you can choose to delay the payment date by 60 days on anything purchased from those same places. This means that you get an extra 60 days before the transaction hits your account and goes into your next monthly statement, and it is especially relevant since this is a business card and can be really useful if you need some help with cash flow. And to make this even more convenient, you can actually pick between the 1.5% cashback rate and the extended payment period on a per transaction basis, which means that for any transaction from Amazon, Amazon Business, and the Whole Foods Market, you can pick whether you want the increased cashback or you want to delay the payment by an extra 60 days. And by the way, all the cashback from this card is paid in form of Amazon rewards, which means you can only spend it on Amazon. The card is free in the first year and also comes with a welcome bonus worth up to £100. So you basically get a £25 Amazon voucher on approval, so there is no minimum spend requirement to hit this. And then there is an extra £75 statement credit when you spend £1,000 in the first 3 months with the card. And you know what the best part is? You will be eligible for this welcome bonus regardless of which Amex cards, personal or business, you have held before. Finally, while this card is free in the first year, from year 2 the annual fee kicks in and it's £50 per year. So you'll need to spend at least £10,000 a year in order to justify the fee, assuming you are only getting the basic cashback, i.e. the 0.5% rate. And then in terms of eligibility for the card itself, in addition to the basic criteria that we discussed before, like having a business and a business account, you'll need a personal income of at least £20,000 £20,000 per year in order to get approved. Now, Amex does have one more Amazon card, which is called the Amazon Business Prime card, and you need to have an Amazon Business Prime membership in order to be eligible for this one. It's a very similar product to the one that we've just discussed, but there are a few differences. Firstly, the cashback rate on Amazon purchases is 2% instead of 1.5%, and the extended payment period on Amazon purchases again is 90 days instead of 60. The welcome bonus is the same at £100, but it's split slightly differently at £50 gift card, which you get immediately after approval, and then another £50 statement credit when you spend £1,000 in the first 3 months. The card is similarly free in the first year and then £50 from year 2. However, if you do spend £8,000 on this card in one membership year, the fee will be waived in the following membership year, which means you do have the ability to have this card for free. And again, the only additional qualifying criteria for this card over the regular Amazon card is that you need to have the Amazon Business Prime membership. So that was Amazon. If you're looking for a simple business card that earns cashback and can potentially boost your cash flow, these cards could be a good option. And we, in the meantime, are moving to a card that earns Avios, and that is the British Airways Accelerating Business Card. This one earns 1.5 Avios per pound, and if you're treating Avios as cashback, which is the very conservative approach, it's equivalent to getting 0.75% cashback, but if you plan to use Avios for travel instead, you can easily double or even triple this value. Additionally, for every £20,000 you spend on this card in one membership year, you get 10,000 bonus Avios up to 3 times a year. This is actually equivalent to getting an extra half an Avios per every pound spent, so someone spending say £60,000 a year on this card would earn a total of 120,000 Avios, which is the same as getting 2 Avios per every pound. In addition to Avios, you also earn 2 on business points per every pound spent directly with British Airways, so on things like booking flights. On Business is BA's corporate loyalty program, and if you get approved for this BA business card, Amex will automatically open a business account for you with British Airways. So when you're booking and taking a flight with BA, you can earn both Avios and on-business points from your credit card spending, and then similarly both Avios and on-business points from the flight itself. Just note that you can't actually mix Avios and the business points for redemptions because they each have their own separate award charts. But anyway, that's it for earning points. The card doesn't have a companion voucher like the personal BA Amex cards do, unfortunately. One more thing it does have is 30,000 Avios welcome bonus when you spend £5,000 in the first 3 months. You'll only be eligible for this bonus if you haven't held any Amex business card in the past 12 months, so the eligibility criteria is a little bit more strict than with the Amazon cards, but still not as strict as with the personal Amex cards. And those 30,000 Avios are worth at least £150 as cashback, but potentially double or even more when used for booking reward flights. And finally, this credit card has a £250 annual fee, which is not waived in year 1, and it is easy to justify it in the first year if you are getting the welcome bonus, but beyond that it really depends on your spending. And generally the spending thresholds on business cards are naturally higher than on personal ones, so if you're choosing between say this and the Amazon card, it comes down to your spending volume and whether you plan to use the Avios for reward flights, because that's where the extra value lies over simple cashback. And also with the Amex business cards, you can normally get supplementary cards for your employees for free, so you can earn rewards on all business spending regardless of who exactly makes the transaction. And now let's move on to the potentially most interesting products, the Gold and the Platinum business cards. These earn membership reward points which are transferable, so I like them more than Avios due to their flexibility. But also the thing is, the Gold and the Platinum aren't actually credit cards. Instead, like I mentioned earlier, they're actually charge cards. So let me explain what that means before we go into further detail. Basically, a charge card has no preset credit limit, so in theory you can spend as much as you need. But of course, internally Amex does keep track and might decline a transaction if they think you're racking up too much spend. And also in the Amex mobile app, you can put in the amount you're planning to spend in a single transaction, and the app will tell you whether this will be approved or not. And obviously you don't have to do it for every single time you have a transaction, but it can be useful when making particularly large purchases. And then the other important aspect of charge cards is that you can't carry a balance. With a credit card, you can pay off part of your statement and then carry the rest over to the next month while paying interest on it. With a charge card though, that is not an option. You have to pay off the entire statement balance in full every single month. Alright, with that out of the way, let's actually look at these cards, and we'll start with the Amex Gold. that is the business version of it. The reason I earlier called these cards the most interesting is partly due to the generous welcome bonus that they currently come with and how easy it is to qualify for it. So currently, on the Gold card, if you apply until October 14th, 2025, you can get a 60,000 point welcome bonus when you spend £6,000 in the first 3 months. And this, by the way, is triple the usual amount. But the best part, again, is that you're eligible for the bonus regardless of what other Amex cards you've held, whether they're personal or business. And this is actually a change that Amex made last year in 2024, and before that it wasn't this easy to qualify. So yeah, the welcome bonus represents pretty amazing value, and on top of that you earn 1 membership reward point per every pound that you spend on the card, and then 2 points per every pound that you spend on Amex travel. Additionally, every quarter you get 10,000 points extra when you spend £20,000 within that quarter, up to 4 times a year. So someone putting £80,000 of spend per year through this card would earn 120,000 points, which is equivalent to getting 1.5 points per pound spent. And plus, of course, there is the potential 60,000 points welcome bonus in year 1. Apart from points though, this card comes with a £100 Dell credit every year, which is split into £50 installments every 6 months of the calendar year, as well as access to the hotel collection. And this, by the way, is the same hotel collection benefit that you get on the Personal Gold card, and basically at select hotels booked via Amex Travel, it gives you $100 credit to spend on hotel services during your stay, as well as a room upgrade, early check-in and late checkout. While the $100 credit is a guaranteed thing, all the other stuff like the upgrade and the early check-in is subject to availability. In terms of the annual fee, the Gold card is free in year 1 and costs £195 per year after that. And again, in year 1, it seems like a complete no-brainer, especially with that 60,000 points welcome bonus. Beyond that though, it will heavily depend on your spending level, and then the £100 Dell credit does partially help offset the annual fee. So if you are, for example, picking between the Amex Gold and the BA Business card, it would potentially come down to how much you spend with BA specifically and fly with BA as well, in particular, as opposed to other airlines. And anyway, it's now time for us to look at the most expensive card in the Amex small business portfolio, which is the Platinum card. This one currently has a welcome bonus of 120,000 points as part of the same October 14th promotion, and it's more than double the usual amount. You do need to spend £12,000 in the first 3 months to get it, which is steep, but also this is a business card, so the spending expectations are definitely a bit higher than on personal ones. In terms of ongoing earnings, it's similar to the Gold card. You get 1 point per pound spent anywhere, which doubles to 2 points per pound on Amex travel purchases. But then if you spend £10,000 within a month, you will get 10,000 bonus points, and this bonus is available every single month, and this makes the earning structure potentially more generous than on the Gold card. So for example, someone spending £120,000 a year would essentially earn 2 points per pound for a total of 240,000 points just from ongoing earnings, and that does not even include the potential 120,000 points welcome bonus. And it kind of makes me wish personal version of the Platinum card also had some interesting bonuses to boost the ongoing earnings, but unfortunately it does not. Anyway, apart from earning points, the Platinum card has a bunch of other benefits. First, there are the credits. The most valuable one in my eyes is the £200 annual Amex travel credit, which you can spend on booking flights or hotels. Next, there is a £150 Dell credit split into 2 £75 installments that unlock every 6 months within the calendar year. Then there is also a £300 Indeed credit unlocked as £75 quarterly installments. And finally, a complimentary subscription to the Times, which Amex claims to be worth over £300. I don't know how realistic this is. If anyone is paying for the subscription to the Times, do let us know what you think about this offer in the comments below. And then on top of these credits, there are all the usual travel benefits, like the unlimited priority pass for lounge access for you and a guest, access to the fine hotels and resorts program, elite status at multiple hotel chains, and much more. And generally, if you want to learn more about the Business Platinum card in particular, I do have a dedicated video which I'm gonna link down below in the description. But then what it all comes down to is that this card carries a £650 annual fee. And of course, it's not waived in year 1. So once again, it's probably a no-brainer in the first year, because of the 120,000 points welcome bonus, which alone is gonna have a lot more value than the annual fee. But beyond year one, it depends not just on your spending, but also on how much you value the credits. For example, do you already spend money on the things that the card would give you discount on, and the travel benefits? And obviously these benefits you can use not just on business stuff and business trips, but also on personal travel as well. So that was pretty much the entire lineup of Amex business cards. And if you do have a business or a side hustle and enough turnover to justify one of these cards, it can be a great way to earn extra rewards on your business spending, especially thanks to the welcome bonus rules, which are a lot easier to qualify for than on the personal cards. But if you're more interested in personal credit cards, then the gold and platinum personal cards are also running increased welcome bonus promotions, at least at the time of recording this video. And actually in this video here, I do a deep dive into the personal version of the Amex Gold card, so consider watching it next. And in the meantime, thanks so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.